I've seen that happen. But I'm excited to have Inga on, and I'm going to ask her some stuff around her healing journey, because a little story about where this came, how this show came to be for today was, years and years and years ago, I had a physical therapy clinic. I had a good life in San Diego. I was running. I had a totally amazing wife, Jen, and still have her. But this was even before we had our little boy, I think. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was. But my office staff had just stolen money from me. There was all sorts of stuff about to happen in my office that was just going to like crumble a lot of stuff, like Medicare stopped paying us for a year, and all sorts of stuff was happening in my future coming up in the next like year or so. And I was about to get severe bone pain and depression out of the blue that I couldn't figure out for 2 years. And basically what looked like my ideal life crumbled right before my eyes. And I didn't know what to do. And so before all this happened, I was taking Qigong, and my office staff had just stolen money from me. And we were in Whole Foods in the middle of a lunch break, and my friend Kim Burnham was there, and Jen was there, and we were waiting for food. And we're in Southern California. There's Mexican food called enchiladas. They're this really yummy, cheesy corn tortilla dish. And there was enchiladas there, and I wanted enchiladas. And but they were all broken pieces and stuff. And Kim was like, "Ralph, aren't you going to get enchiladas?" And I'm like, "No, I want the whole enchilada." And instantly I knew I had just put my request out to the universe, because I did want the whole enchilada. I wanted all of it. I wanted all of the abundance. I wanted the whole thing. And yet right then my staff had stolen money from me. I was about to go through a really, really, really hard time, one of the darkest times of my life. I literally thought of killing myself, but I knew I wouldn't. I had a wife and a little boy, but I had these dark thoughts of just leaving them and just going and dying somewhere, because I was literally didn't know why I had bone pain and severe bone pain at night and depression. I was like in a really tough spot, and my money was going like this. And yet I could help people heal. So, but I had this request of like, I wanted the whole thing. And what it feels like right now, our good friend Katie Kavanaugh, one of the healers in our Atomic Success Secrets group, she said it this morning. She goes, what it feels like right now, so many people are going through some really hard times and really tough stuff and done a lot of deep work, a lot of healing work. It feels like for a lot of people, this is one last time to feel this something not so good. We've been doing this and going up, and everything's getting better, and we're figuring a lot of stuff out and healing a lot of stuff. And there can be one more like, crap, what is this? And you think it's like, is it just not working? Is something not right? It feels like it's one last time, so that we can show the universe or God or spirits or our spirit guides, whatever it is, how are you going to handle it this time? Because you're about to get everything you want. So what I would like you to do, if you like, because being in Inga's presence, being in my presence, you literally can have a healing effect simply from being on this show. And now that can seem crazy, it could seem bizarre, it could seem like you're heresy, like who are you to say that? But what you can do is test it for yourself and just notice how you feel after this session, maybe even during this session, and notice what you notice and notice what's different after hanging out with us. And we're going to guide you through what we found and tell you a bit of how what we've experienced with this, like trying to get what you want in life and maybe having a past that really wasn't so good, and how to transcend it. So with that being said, I just want to welcome Inga. I'm super excited to have you here. Yeah, anything. So I'll just start right now. Anything you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, you've been on quite a journey, and of course you're going to share what you want to share, but don't share anything that's too private. But tell us a little bit about yourself or your journey.
Well, I've been on a healing journey for almost 5 years now, and I've gone through a lot of stuff, but nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing didn't work, but I still was. You could say I was like imprisoned within myself. It's I had this. It's called. like detachment trauma or something. It's when you don't feel connected to anything or anybody, and you can't really connect to anybody. So it's like pathological loneliness, and I had, and I still do, but I've been working a lot upon myself since meeting you, Ralph, since you have given me the peace process method. I had a lot of fears in my subconscious mind and a lot of negative beliefs. And I was always trying and trying and trying. I was putting out an intention and a counter intention. It's like, if you want a car, red Ferrari, come, and at the same time, stay away, because they were incongruent. But a lot has changed since October 27th. A lot. It's like God has granted me a boon, you know? So yeah.
So cool.
Um,
So you've been working on some really deep stuff that you're calling a detachment kind of thing going on. When you, as you've been going through it and you've tried a lot of stuff, and some stuff has worked some, and you're working and doing the inner stuff that we're up to now with our healing, and you have your own healing practice, helping other people. Along this journey, what do you think you wanted to accomplish? Like, as you know, you're a little girl, and then you're a teenager, and then growing up, and then life starts happening. What did you want? What did you want to accomplish in life, or what did you want to figure out, or what did you want to get? Like for me, I one of the things I had was I had severe anxiety as a little kid, and a really weird sweaty hands and sweaty feet problems. And one of my big desires was just to quit having sweaty hands, because I wanted a girlfriend. I didn't want to like touch her hand, like, ugh. It's like, it was like the weirdest, awfulest thing. But I got rid of the anxiety, got rid of the sweaty hand thing. But that was the first thing that kind of was like this, like, oh God, I really want to solve this thing. What did you want to accomplish?
well, what comes to mind, it's kind of sad what comes to mind, but my trauma, or my story was like the only thing that I could focus on, let's say, was to survive the day. So what I wanted to, now that I think back, I wanted to just to be free, to be an individual, to I wanted to let's say, I wanted to be, just me, I wanted to be just me. That's all I ever wanted. And yeah, I'm starting to tear up. I
Yeah.
just wanted to be free. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very internal like thing, like the deep things. Anything in the external world that you wanted, like just like basic stuff that you wanted to be different?
Well, I always I did have like this spiritual calling that always kept calling me. And I've I've found my spiritual calling, and what I don't really want to talk about it that much.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, only share what you want to share. But there was
Yeah,
you got to see what you're really here to do kind of thing.
yeah. It's yeah, but I was kind of locked in, but I did know that I always had like this really strong calling to spirituality and yoga and all of that kind of things.
Yeah, I did too. It's quite amazing. I Yeah, I remember as a little boy thinking, golly, why didn't somebody tell me if you didn't sin, you could go to heaven? I would have not sinned. I wouldn't have said that to my sister. I wouldn't have hit her. I was like, it was the weirdest thing. I had this thing of like that. And then I was reading the Bible a lot as a little kid, like Jesus and all this healing. And there was something that was just driving me along a path. So it sounds like there was something that you were on some sort of spiritual path.
Yeah, I want to tell a story. It was like when I was a kid, I think maybe 12. I was watching the television and they start to talk about meditation, and my heart just exploded in joy. It was just like, no, this is where you need to go. And I never forgot that. It was the experience was so amazing that it just, as soon as I got the opportunity to meditate, I haven't stopped since, you know.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been on a spiritual journey for sure, even age 12. So you're going
Yeah.
along and you're a kid. What are some of the problems you hit along the way? Because now you are a healer, you help people heal. You've got a healing practice. You're in our group, helping yourself heal and helping other people heal. When you're going through the beginning, like the early years, the 20 somethings kind of going along, what are some of the problems you hit? As you kind of started down this journey of meditation and solving these deep spiritual things, these
Well, since I started to meditate, or before that, it was
or
it
let's
was
say you
quite.
had, just whatever you want, like what has been some of the problems along your path, some things that kind of like bumped you a little bit.
Well, what's bumped me? Well, like I said at the beginning, it's been this it's called um covert incest. That was it's just been like suffocating me my entire life. So I've always had a very big problems, not problems, challenges connecting with people, keeping relationships. So I could not, like, never offer anything to the world. It's kind of, yeah,
Oh,
that, yeah.
so you had this thing, and it was showing up as like you weren't able to connect with people and even offer your help.
No, it was like, I can say, I can like a spiritual prison or something like that. You know, it was like I was always disconnected. Uh, but I'm getting a lot better now. So yeah, I can offer my special skills to
Yeah,
people.
well, yeah, and you are now. It's quite proof that you're on a live Facebook thing, and you're going to be on probably YouTube and Rumble and Anchor and all these other places that we post this thing. So you're already out there, and I feel the connection with you, and I know you help other people with your healing work. What happened? What was the thing that shifted you, or was there a thought or a belief or some sort of epiphany or something shifted you that you're able to like now connect with people more, and you're still going, we're all healing, we're on this path. But did something shift in you? Do you remember a thing that happened with the healing work, with something else, any epiphany or any kind of thing that happened?
I would say that well, almost 2 years ago, January 24th, I was initiated into a yoga kriya,
Oh,
which so, and I do that to her every single day. And since then I've started to be able to get further and further and further, and I went through a shamanic healing for a whole year.
wow. I remember you told me the
Yeah,
name of the guru. Yeah.
yeah, Sadhguru, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I was going through like a psychic development course with another shaman, and she linked you.
Oh,
And I think, like, yeah, and I told you this story. It was like I think like a month or 2 months earlier, I had realized that I am awareness, and I was realizing that the contents of my consciousness are creating my reality. And I was like, whoa, I'm gonna need some help with this. And then you came along, and yeah,
wow.
and
So
yeah.
you've been doing some yoga, some deep Kriya yoga. You've been um helped, worked on, initiated with some very high level shamans and gurus, and
Mhm.
then you met me, and we started doing this work that we do, this peace process. It's been called many things. The letting go process. The Eckhart Tolle calls it the power of now. It's in Buddha's teachings, Jesus's teachings. It's everywhere that I look at for like the deep spiritual work. it's so pure. How's it been going so far? Like, what have you noticed? You're on this spiritual journey, you're with the gurus, you're with the yogi people, you do a Kriya Yoga, which is high level yoga. And then you're doing this stuff with us. What's happened since you've been doing the stuff that we're using, this peace process, this the way we do things?
Well, well, where do I was thinking about this. I was thinking the peace process, it works for everything. I started first, it works for money. You need money, you peace process, it comes in. Trauma, something as deep as I experienced, I mean, just since yesterday, there's been like trauma and beliefs and stuff that I was like, I'm never gonna get out of this. It's gone, This is amazing. My life has transformed faster in this 6 weeks than it has all of my years before. So wow, whatever.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody? Somebody might be thinking something like, well, who are these guys? I'm a physical therapist. You're a healer person that does yoga, but we're not like a psychologist, or we don't have a PhD in the mental stuff. What would you tell somebody that's like, well, that's not, you're not officially trained and certified by the state or whatever to help somebody with stuff. What would you tell somebody that might be thinking like, who are these? This isn't. You need to be a PhD, or you need to have a psychology degree, or you got to make sure you do talk therapy. It's like, what would you tell somebody about that?
Well,
or would you tell anything about that? It's like, I have no problem with it, because I've got a cool story about that, where my little boy had a hard time reading. The short version of the story was, we went to a lot of psychologists that the people at the Montessori school said, you got to go to these psychologists in the public schools, and did all these tests, and they said they would have to work with him for 4 hours a day. And I asked, well, how long does it take to fix this? And they said, oh, he's going to have this for the rest of his life. And I told Jen, as we were walking back to the truck, I said, somebody has fixed this. And she found a guy that was an engineer from England who had fixed it for himself and his 2 little boys. He was an engineer, and he developed a little video game thing, and we bought it, and we went through a little video game thing, and like, it was fun, 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day. And over the course of a few weeks, he completely that problem was gone. And his teachers was like, what are you doing? I said, well, it's this thing. The guy he wasn't a PhD in that. He was an engineer. He had 0 credentials, except that he had solved this problem for his 2 little boys. And then he had the oomph to actually put it out to the universe as a product. And we found it, and we paid him money, and it changed our lives. So I have no problem with like, I really, at this point, I'm not like into like who has what credentials. I'm like, what kind of results do you get? And so anything you would say to add to that, to like, because it's like, we're, who are we? We're like people. We've had some problems in the past, and we've solved some problems, and we're going here, and we have a way to do that. But we're not, mental health people, or PhDs in psychology, or MDs. I mean, it's almost like heresy. We might get kicked off of Facebook for saying stuff. Yeah, but anything else you want to add to that? Because it's one of the things that comes up around some of my circles. It's like, people are like, oh no, you have to have credentials. And it's like, well, I've only studied this for like 37 years and made results in myself and my clients. I guess I got to peace process that, because it's still something that kind of gets me like, golly, you guys, just try this thing and see for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I have a good answer to that, both from my guru, from Sadhguru, and a mentor of mine. His name is Kevin Trudeau. He's a great mentor, and he says, don't confuse activity with accomplishment.
Oh, I love it.
I think that's amazing. It's like that would kind of sum it up what you guys are doing. Don't confuse activity with accomplishment. Just look at the results you guys are getting. And my guru would say, and I'm not gonna say that I'm going like verbatim because he doesn't like that. And but he would say that you just go through life on logic. You gotta mix the intuition with it. And I would tell people out there to listen to their intuition and watch the videos with the people who are who have gone through the peace process, and the results they're amazing. It's like one session is a lifetime of therapy with you guys.
That's what I
And
found too.
yeah, it's amazing. And I'm so very grateful. Like I said, it was a boon to cross your path.
Thanks you. Yeah, and I'll put some links there so people can have the peace process and then ways to do it with us, because it's useful to do it to get some guidance, because it's so easy to get off track with this very simple, powerful process. As you, I mean, we're all on this journey like this, and you and I are, and anyone following this path, you do healing work now to help people to solve all sorts of problems. And what anything else you want to say about stuff has changed for you? Anything else about the transformation, like who you are now compared to where you were when you started with this process? Anything else about the who you become, or the transformation, or some unexpected miracle?
Well, I think I'd like to add that I had this in my consciousness, this belief about me that's called like a black sheep or something like that, that I would get like really disrespectful attitudes from people. They would dismiss me and kind of just treat me like I was less than. And that is because I believed it. I know. But that has completely transformed.
Wow.
And it feels amazing. I feel like I'm worth something. So that's yeah.
Yeah, I do see that. I do see that. Yeah, it's so cool. You said something in one of our group things that we were doing, and it was so cool and so true. Yeah, you're doing big work, and that is gone. So that's neat. I'm gonna put links. I'm gonna go back into the Facebook and put links for people to get peace process, and we're gonna link up anything that Inga wants to share, so that if you want to contact her, if you want to be in her healing world, if you want to be in our healing world, I'll put links there. And just DM me if you're on Inga's, DM her. We can guide you to a bunch of healing resources using these processes. And yeah, thank you so much, Inga. This
Thank you
feels
for
big.
having me.
And one thing I want to just say is, we say this in the group, and it's true. It's not just like a nice little saying. Your presence heals. Like, I can feel it. I could feel it the first time I met you, and then it's like, oh my goodness, every moment it's just like boom. And so I mean, really. And I think, when we've had these tough childhoods and tough stuff, and stuff has happened, it's like yeah, it's awful, but there's some gifts that come in with like some big open hearts and some big healing effects, and some wonderful sacred space that can show up. And one of the unexpected, maybe not unexpected for us, but some of the miracles are being in our presence can heal. And that might sound like ego, but it's really not. All the great spiritual teachers talk about how the power, the infinite power of spirit is within. Even Yoda says that in Star Wars. And the Holy Spirit resides within you. Your guides are all right in there giving you everything you need. So you being on this session and people watching it, what you can do, if you like, is just to go walk around afterwards, see how you feel, move your arms, move your legs, notice how tall you are, see if the light is different. Is it brighter or somehow different? Do people treat you differently after hanging out with us? Because what happens when you're in this this in our presence because of this work, because of doing this and clearing the stuff. It's like a light that comes into the room, and darkness, it's not like you have to go fight the darkness, all the bad stuff that happened, all the stuff, and you don't have to figure out like what's the darkness all about. You just go bring yourself in there, your light, and it's like as if it wasn't there ever. It's just like, well, the lights are on now. You don't have to go fight it. So what you might want to do is test for yourself what's real for you. I started off as a physical therapist. I'm still a physical therapist. I have a physical therapy practice here in Bellingham, Washington. What you can do is test for yourself your physical body. Because if something changed for you right now, what else just changed? And like Inga says, this process has solved money things for her, and we've seen it as well. So it's like, if you think, well, we've just talked about healing some stuff, and okay, my shoulder's a little looser, or I'm walking a little looser, a little lighter. But just notice what you notice, and just notice if you try to like discount it, like, oh, it couldn't have been from that, or oh, that's weird. Yeah, I just had this really cool thing happen, but it wasn't from that. It's like, you might want to just let that go a little bit, just to give a little space to this spirit and say, oh, wow, what else just changed? So I invite you to look at that, and I'll put links below. Contact me and Inga and let us know and share this. These are the holidays and people need healing right now, and this can help. So Inga, thank you so much for being here. I look forward to doing more of these with you, because you're doing big work and you're helping a lot of people, and all this stuff that you and I both have gone through over the years as little kids. There's some real benefit for now. We can help a lot of people. So I want to thank you for putting yourself here and being there and sharing your stuff, and we'll do more as long as yeah, we'll just keep doing more.
All right.
Anything else you
Thank
want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, there is one more thing I wanted to tell you guys. Right before our session on October 27, I had to use my glasses all day, every day. I have not had to use my glasses since. So I was starting to see
so
everything.
cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
grateful.
I know. Yeah, I remember one of our people in our group, that was one of her big concerns, was her eyesight. And I was on the session when Ilya was leading the group, and right before our eyes, it improved from a level 8 of a problem. 10 was a terrible problem. It was level 8, it went to a 2, and it's maintained. Yeah. So it's like, and I was like, even I was like, so yeah, and then just to put it out there, no, results aren't guaranteed. Your results may be different. All those disclaimers, use this for only information. Seek all your regular healthcare people. All those kind of things. We're just saying these are our experiences. So thank you, Inga. Super cool. I'm gonna click off the recording, and then I'll hang out with you for a little bit. So let me just let's see. Oh, and I didn't. Let me just stop live stream. Okay, yeah, and oh, let me turn off this recording on Fathom. Participants, and